Hey guys, Horror Lorekeeper here. Today we're digging into the smallest, saddest heartbeat in the whole franchise. The kid whose fear practically built an entire game around it. We're talking about the disturbing psychology of the crying child in FNAF. We'll break down what he looks like and how the game frames him, how he behaves through mechanics and mini-games, the story beats from bedroom to birthday to bite, and the big theories about what's really happening in his head. Night terrors, manipulation, or something more supernatural. We'll cover appearance, behavior, story, and theories. So sit back, relax, and let's dive back into the world of FNAF. First, context. The crying child lives in the FNAF 4 corner of the universe. Think cramped suburban home hallways at night, a child's room with a bed too big and a fan too loud, doors that don't quite latch. When we leave the house, we go to Fredbear's family diner, a small local stage with gold-toned mascots and a birthday table. If FNAF locations usually feel like liminal malls and backrooms, FNAF 4 is domestic liminal. The wrongness follows you home. We can smell dust and old carpet. We can hear distant crowd noises that might be from the TV or from memory. Everything is close, claustrophobic, and personal. Before the theory knives come out, let's see the crying child. The minigames give us a boy with big, wet eyes, striped shirt, small shoes. The posture of someone who's braced for a scare even when nothing's happening. He clutches a Fredbear plush like it's a lifeline. Cheeks tracked with tears, innocent and hypervigilant. We notice the visual language. His room is cluttered with cute masks and toys. But everything reads expressionless but unsettling once the lights dim. Meanwhile, the things he sees at night are the nightmare animatronics. Hulking, over-toothed, mangled, and nightmarish versions of Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. Gaping hinges, shredding teeth, bellies that look like they could open. They're lanky and humanoid, but move like something that knows the floor plan better than you do. That contrast, little kid versus meat grinder mascots, is the whole horror flavor. Function and behavior. When do we encounter him, and how does the game make us inhabit his fear? FNAF 4 puts us in his bedroom POV. The triggers are sensory. Breathing at the door, footsteps, laughter, a flicker of lights. We're training our ears because the mechanics tie survival to listening. If we slam a door at the wrong time, we die. If we flashlight into breathing, we die. The Foxy closet is a slow burn threat. Leave it unchecked, and Foxy regresses from nightmare to plush and back again. A taunting loop. On the minigame days, our encounters are the moments he's locked in rooms, teased by older kids in masks, and cornered by a Fredbear plush that talks. The talking is key. The plush delivers guidance like a caretaker voice. Don't be scared. You can't let them see you. Yacht, friend or controller, we'll get there. If we map his phases like an animatronic escalation, it looks like this. Basic, house nights, hypervigilance, doors, closet, bed. Fear crystallized into rules. Listen, hold, flick, retreat. Minigame days. Social fear. Bullied by older brother and mask-wearing friends. Locked away. The plush becomes the only confidant. Late, birthday bite. Public humiliation and catastrophe. Fear and ridicule collide on stage. The bite of 83 clamps down. Hospital imagery, a flatline. The infamous message, I will put you back together. Now the lore connection, because FNAF 4's fear isn't free-floating. It ties into Afton family dynamics, animatronic possession, attachment, and the series' obsession with children in adult-built traps. The most common reading places the crying child as William Afton's youngest son, with Michael as the older brother who bullies him, that Foxy mask, those friends who think scares are funny. It has been theorized that the Fredbear plush voice is either William surveilling via hidden tech, the puppet-like guardian speaking through a toy, or a symbolic interior voice. The canon is deliberately vague, but the pattern is tight. The kid's fear is constantly managed by voices, siblings, mascots, plushes, and maybe dad. Let's walk the story like a narrated playthrough. The house that won't let you sleep. We start in a child's room. The night loop is mechanical and intimate. Check door, listen, flash, breathe. We can see the bedspread, the dresser, the closet that's both wardrobe and maw. Every action in FNAF 4 is small and precise, mirroring a child's survival strategy. Make the right move quietly or else. Between nights, minigames say, this kid doesn't get daylight safety either. He's locked in, bangs on doors, hides under a table at the diner, and watches the animatronics loom rather than entertain. A friend with a stitched smile. The Fredbear plush is everywhere he goes. It appears in his room, at the house, at the diner. In some scenes, it speaks in text, warning him. We can read that as a protector voice, don't go near them, as Dad's remote manipulator, Afton with cameras and mics, or as the fractured self soothing itself. The boy obeys the plush more than people. That's disturbing because it means inanimate guidance outranks human comfort in this house. The day games escalate. The older brother and his friends push the kid's boundaries, wearing masks, cornering him, normalizing fear as play. That's a very specific psychological wound. The place that should be safe, home diner, keeps telling you that terror is a joke. The crying child internalizes that his fear is entertainment for others. On the last day, the friends decide to force exposure therapy. They lift him, carry him to the stage, and jam his head toward Fredbear's jaws while everyone laughs. Final confrontation. Bite, hospital, goodbye. We all know the image. The jaws close. Teeth, metal, blood. Then hospital beeps. A father at the bedside, implied. A brother in shock, implied. And the text, I will put you back together. The screen fades. Interpretations will differ forever, but as a piece of horror storytelling, this is the most intimate fatality in the series. It's not a jump scare. It's a public betrayal turned into medical tragedy. Before we move on, mini profiles of the entities that define his knights: appearance, role, threat, Fredbear plush, small, cute, banal, and omnipresent. Role, guidance. Voice, possible surveillance node. Threat, redefines safety on its terms, may funnel the child's choices. Nightmare, Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy. Overtoothed, torn, mangled, and nightmarish. Role, embodiments of fear and intrusion. Threat, punish mistakes, train hypervigilance, older brother, Foxy mask. Lanky teen, laughing, playful, and predatory. Role, social vector for fear, teaches the kid that fear is a game. Threat, escalates to public humiliation. Fredbear, on stage, gold, heavy, grand, and mechanical. Role, symbol of community joy, co-opted into a weapon. Threat, literal bite, figurative betrayal by the fun place. Now the psychology, at what is wrong in this kid's world, and how does FNAF 4 simulate his mind? Hypervigilance and conditioned listening. The breathing mechanic is genius. The kid survives by hearing what adults can't or won't acknowledge. That's trauma logic. Children in unsafe homes learn to read microsignals, footsteps, door hinges, tone shifts, to predict danger. FNAF 4 weaponizes that skill. The player becomes the child, counting heartbeats at the door. Separation anxiety and attachment misfire. The crying child clings to a Fredbear plush, not to a person. That suggests his primary attachment figure is compromised. Unavailable father, hostile brother, so he transfers safety to something controllable, but the plush becomes controlling. That's an attachment loop turned inside out. I hold the toy for comfort. The toy tells me how to survive. Terrifying because it feels safer than trusting people. Learned helplessness. The minigames show him locked away and mocked. Repeated exposure to inescapable fear can produce a freeze state. You stop believing your actions matter. FNAF 4 fights that with strict rules. Your actions do matter, but the daytime scenes keep telling him the opposite. No matter what you do, the bullies win. That contradiction cracks kids. Reinforced fear schema, animatronic phobia. In real life, a child might form a fear schema. Mascots with threat. In FNAF, the world cheats. The mascots actually are threats. The nightmares confirm his phobia. Reality and dream fuse. The schema hardens. Guilt introjection. Victims often blame themselves. In the popular reading where his older brother is Michael, the crying child's death becomes Michael's lifelong guilt engine. But inside the crying child's head, the more insidious outcome is, I ruined the party by being scared. The minigames feed that. Everyone laughs, then catastrophe. And the boy's last days are defined by public shame. That shame is a ghost even fire can't free. Now the spicy part. Theories. So what does this all mean for the crying child? Likeliest reading. FNAF 4 is the child's subjective reality leading up to and including a real bite. The nights are night terrors shaped by daily bullying. The nightmares are fears exaggerations of the mascots he dreads. The Fredbear plush voice is either William or a guardian voice surrogate guiding him toward avoidance. Don't go near them. That fails when others force exposure. The line, I will put you back together, reads as a father's promise. Either literal, medical effort, remnant attempt, or spiritual. I'll keep your pieces close. In this reading, the crying child isn't dreaming the lore. He's experiencing fear mechanics that the series later literalizes. Possession, remnant, illusion. Alternative fan reading, the Illusion AR lab hypothesis. Some fans connect book mechanics, illusion discs, to FNAF 4, arguing the nightmares and house are manipulated perception. The kid is part of an early Afton Henry tech experiment gone wrong. The plush's voice becomes a system prompt, the breathing a calibration test, the bite an outcome of human cruelty colliding with designed hallucinations. In this view, the disturbing psychology isn't just the kids, it's ours, because FNAF 4 used a child to R&D fear hardware. Another controversial angle, the dream theory echo. An older fan theory posited the entire FNAF 4 is the crying child's coma dream. While the series has moved away from it was all a dream as a primary canon, elements feel dreamlike for a reason. The game wants us inside a kid's sleep paralysis logic. Door, breath, monster, blink. Even if the events are real, the staging is dream grammar. That's why the nights end abruptly. That's why the house is the map. Let's split supported versus inferred, so we keep this honest. Supported by FNAF 4. The child protagonist is terrified of animatronics, bullied by older kids. A Fredbear plush guides him. A public bite occurs at a birthday celebration, hospital scene. I will put you back together. Strongly suggested by wider material, the older brother is likely Michael. The crying child is likely Afton's youngest. The bite is 83, not 87 in this framing. Inferred, the plush is William's surveillance or a guardian's voice. The nightmares are augmented by illusion tech. The line is a promise of remnant tchak repair. The name some fans use, often Evan, comes from survival logbook puzzles, but the games never directly confirm it. Treat it as a popular fan solve, not hard canon. So why is his psychology so disturbing? More than, say, a random night guard's panic. Because the crying child's fear is rational in an irrational world. He's right to be scared. Adults tell him to calm down. Peers turn fear into comedy. The place built for kids eats him in front of everybody. That's a primal betrayal. And the way the game makes us survive, listening, waiting, closing, literally trains us to be him. We become the kid who believes the hallway breath is more important than what anyone says. One more sinister note to end on. In a franchise where the dead keep moving, the crying child is the original motion. His nights teach Michael how fear feels. His death teaches Henry and William how remnant feels. His story teaches us how control feels when you don't have it. If William is the man who turned love into experiments, the crying child is the child who turned fear into a map every later game walks. Alright, that's our breakdown of the disturbing psychology of the crying child. The small body against the big jaws. The bedroom rules that act like a therapy worksheet twisted into a horror loop. The playthrough from house to diner to hospital, and the theories that try to explain whether that plush is a guardian or a handler. If you enjoyed this breakdown, remember to leave a like, comment down below with what you want to see next, and of course subscribe to Horror Lorekeeper for more FNAF and horror content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Hmm.